Hey everybody, I'm GrowDaddy, aka Patrick, and welcome. Welcome to GrowDaddyTV Studios. You've made it. You've made it to the 7th episode, the 7th season, the 4th episode. And I got to tell you guys something. It's wild over here. We're going to be talking about the soil recipe that I use and everything. We're really going to concentrate on that today and let you guys know up here.
The secret recipe, it's over there.
Yeah, you know what? These plants are just loving it, and I want to pass it on. And of course, if it doesn't turn out, don't use it. But if it does, so far the plants are loving the new recipe that I put them in the soil. They just finished their 4th week of veg, by the way. So let me tell you, first of all, I'm using a Mars Hydro 3000 light, and it will give me about 270 total watts of power. And right now, I've got them set, this is the same in both tents, by the way. I've got them set about 18 inches in both tents, and I've got them running at 97. They're both, on the watt meter, they're both saying 97, but we're gonna call it 100. You know, moving that dot, it might jump up to 102.
So what's the par on the canopy?
Par on the canopy is roughly around 300 par. Somewhere.
That's where you like it most of
the plant. I don't like it. The plants like it. Look, they're all praying. We got one over here. She's really praying. She's kind of laying flat, but looking really like she really likes the soil. And both of these girls are kind of praying mildly. They're not in huge pray.
Hey, what do you mean by praying?
Oh, yeah. When the leaves are going up like this, they're saying more light. When they're doing this, they're kind of going, we're cool. We're all right. We're cool. And then we're down here where they're kind of doing this. And I got to tell you something. I love to see they're probably do better at this. I don't know when they're flat. But I just love to see them praying. It's like looking at your kids when they're going like this, right? Pick me up. You know, and this is kind of what I see, and it just gets my heart when they're in here praying. So anyways.
So that makes the DLI 19 and a half approximately.
Approximately 19 and a half in the tent, running 18.6. And just to kind of clue you guys in a little bit, so you can do this in your own grow in veg, get your lights where you want them, and then you can adjust the light up and down, you know, the dial up and down a little bit depending on what your leaves tell you, okay? And I'm just gonna tell you this real quick. We're running 100 watts in a 2x4 tent. Do the math. In a 2x2 tent, I would be running 50 watts.
Yeah, even if you don't have a par meter,
yeah,
we have a par meter.
Yeah, and basically all the lights are close. You know, if you're looking at the watts that you're using, you know, I'm using 100 watts at 18 inches in a 2x4. You would do the same thing no matter what your light was. You'd run about 100 watts at about 18 inches.
Oh yeah, and the watt meter's cheap.
Watt meter's only $20, but this is giving you, if you have no clue and you don't have a par meter and you really kind of want to know where to, you know, some growers will tell you to put it on the dial, but all of our lights, you put it on the dial, they'll all be at different settings. If we use the watts, you'll have a really good idea of where to put your lights, and that way, well, in a 4x4 tent, what would you use? Do the math. If I'm using 100 watts in a 4x4, you'd be using 200 watts at 18 inches in veg. And that's basically where I want the lights, and I can move the dial up and down or move them up and down based on what the leaves are telling me.
So how about the temperature and humidity, which ends up being the VPD?
So let's talk a little bit about VPD, just a little bit, and let you know where my girls are right now. My girls are 75.
Temperature and humidity.
Yeah,
right?
it's where temperature and humidity come together, where your plants will photosynthesize and grow the best at where they're at.
When they're in the zone.
Yeah, and it changes based on if they're seedlings going through veg or if they're going through flower. You want to change that zone, and there's a chart. We're going to put it right up here that most cannabis users use. And right now, I'm in veg, and I'm able to adjust my room where I want it. And I'm going to keep it between 75 and 80 degrees using 70 humidity. And that's, if you look on the chart, that's right where we want to be in veg, and the girls just seem to love it. If you can't get there, just do your best. The plants will understand.
They'll grow anyway.
Yeah, the plants will understand.
They grow anyway.
Water, listen, I up-potted these about 4 days ago. They're huge in the 7 gallons. I up-potted them about 4 days ago. They are already chugging. I mean, the first couple days, maybe a half a liter, they were barely taking it, but they're already up to, I don't know, 1 to 1.5, just where she was.
Liters a day.
Yeah, they're already chugging.
And you are using these BluMat
moisture meters. Yeah, and I don't have. Here's one. Here's just to say, just to give you an idea of what they look like when they're not in the soil. Okay, and that's the top of it. Just to let you know, I'm using a BluMat moisture meter, and as you guys know, I'm big on dry back in the smaller solo cups in the 1.5. You know,
Yeah,
the roots are
when the
small.
plants are young, you just use dry back technique.
And now I'm using, and I started using, I think the Grow or the Grow before, I can't remember now. But I found that if you can keep it moist without drowning the roots, you're going to get a lot of growth, and the plants are going to really do well with the dry amendments in, you know, in breaking those down because they're always wet. The soil doesn't go dormant at all. The plants are loving it. What can I say? So, but I got to use BluMat moisture meter because it really lets me know what to water. I come in here every day. Now listen, I know a lot of you guys that have bigger grows, or I don't know. I love coming. I come down here and water and spend an hour with these girls every morning, just kind of adoring them in one way or another. Yeah, and by the way, I'm going to tell you guys, when they're going through veg, you don't want to pull a lot of leaves off. You don't want to do a lot of work. And even when you bud pinch, and I bud pinched for the first, bud pinched for the last time when I did the up pot, you know, because I knew they were going to hate that up pot, and they did for a couple days. But I really took advantage of taking some tops off and doing some stuff. Because, you know,
all at the same time.
Yeah, you're gonna stunt them every time you start peeling off. Now I'll peel off a leaf every now and then, right? But I try to tuck. They're going through veg. You want them to grow. But what I really like doing down here, and this is where I spend a lot of my time, is tying things down and getting this flat canopy. And that's so all the buds get equal light. They're all.
It's your bonsai daddy thing.
It's my bonsai. Not only that, but I think it's one of the better ways to grow indoors because all your buds are getting top shelf light. You're not getting larf. I'm finding my last few grows, I'm finding very, very little larf, if any. And let me tell you what, nobody likes trimming fucking larf. Nobody. And I'll tell you what, I've loved my last two. I didn't feel like I've been in any kind of trim jail, trimming real hard, dense buds. And you know what? Therefore, I don't want larf anymore. And of course, if you do get a little larf, that's okay. We can make some oil out of it. Yeah.
Okay, how about that soil recipe?
Soil recipe. Let me go over the soil recipe so you guys know exactly what I did.
You kind of based it on the Coot's recipe, right?
Yeah, and Coots, I should have done more research on Coots because I have heard a lot about them and I've heard about them on different shows. But as you know, I smoke a lot of dope and I'm always high. And if you expect me to remember shit, listen, Coots is a grower, you know, some famous grower with some famous recipe or something.
Some smart guy.
Some smart guy that grew beautiful plants and Coots. I hear everybody's got a Coots recipe. Anyways, Coots recipe is very basic. It's a third peat, it's a third perlite or some type of drainage material, and then it's also a third compost. And that compost can be anything really. In my compost, I used
worm castings.
I used worm castings. About a third of the compost I used was worm castings, not a third, 2/3, and maybe even 3/4 was worm castings. A whole bunch, and then
mostly,
yeah. But I wanted to get some. I wanted to get a third or a quart or whatever it might be compost in there, and I had a couple bags of different compost in my garage. I had some mushroom compost. And
you got kind of a weird collection of different kinds of soil in there.
I just wanted to throw some stuff in, so it had some more microbes from some other soil and some different stuff in there as well as the worm castings.
You know what you are? You're a bit of a soil hoarder.
Well, you started gardening, so now we have all kinds of stuff laying around. Anyways, so let's get to the recipe of exactly what I did. So, and by the way, if I get things wrong, all the right stuff is on one side or the other, okay? It's all over here because I'm stoned all the time.
GrowDaddy has to kind of explain.
Yeah, so if I screw up telling you guys what I did with the thing, all this real information's right over here on the side, just to let you guys know. So anyway, so we started out with that, and we got our pro mix, okay? And I dumped it out. It's got perlite in it. Oh shit. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with 2/3 that, and then I'm gonna take a third of compost, which we use mostly worm castings, and threw in some handfuls of some other compost, but mostly worm castings we used. And then we threw in some Gaia Green amendments. And by the way, Coots, of course, throws in different amendments, and this is where our recipes kind of stray. But I find that, the Gaia Green amendments have such a wide variety of stuff, much wider than Coots. I can't take anything away from.
Look at these pretty flowers.
They're beautiful. Anyways, I use Gaia Green. I'm going to tell you what I put in. I ended up putting, to cook it, I put 50-50 in, right? So I put 3 tablespoons per gallon of Gaia Green amendments, and I used 1.5 tablespoons. I mix it in half, 2 E04 and 444, I used 50/50.
The bloom and the
Yeah, and 3
regular.
tablespoons combined, so 1.5 each or whatever you want to call it per gallon is what I use. And if I don't
put
say
the
it right or you don't
recipe,
understand, it's all right here. Don't fret none.
So that's
Don't
a
fret none.
GrowDaddy TV recipe, and I think so far so good, right?
And then I let it cook, right? I let it cook.
How long?
It cooked for 3 weeks, I think, maybe 4 weeks. I think 3 weeks. Because they're in the 1.5 gallon, I think that's the length of time. So it cooked for 3 weeks. If you can get it to cook for a month or longer, it's good. But I
That
also
helps the microbes, right?
yeah, and you want to look at some places of if you're going to cook some soil. I didn't do a video, I'm sorry guys, but you want to get that soil. You want to get that soil to a certain consistency. You don't want it soft and wet because it will be turned anaerobic. You know, in your bends as it's sitting out there cooking, it'll turn anaerobic. So you want the right consistency of water. There's a lot of
not super duper dry, but
not
like
super
not
super wet.
all dried out.
You want it to stick together, but you don't want to squeeze out water. You want it wet enough where you can squeeze it and it'll hold together, but it's not squeezing out water. That's how you want. That's the amount of moisture you want in it when you're cooking it. And I did that for 3 or 4 weeks, and that allows all the dry.
Do you kind of tumble it around from time to time?
No, I didn't. I let it sit out there, but you
just-
certainly can. You can certainly go out there and mix it up. If I was doing it for a longer period of time, I probably would have. You know, I probably would have went out there
Just
and
go
tossed
check it.
Yeah, no, maybe once a month you go out there and turn it a little bit.
So that's your recipe.
That's the recipe in a nutshell, and then let it cook for 3 weeks, and that's about it. I use this ratio, mix it up, and these things have been in here for a week. We're gonna do some. No, they've been in here for like 5 days. Excuse me, they've been in here for like 5 days, and they are huge. Look on last week's video. They are just. What can I say? I'm a happy daddy. Let's go look at some porn.
Some weed porn.
Some weed porn, and if anything I said is wrong, look over here. Because I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot, but
Just tune them out like I do.
I'm an admitted idiot. Let's go look at some porn. Come on. Hey guys, hey, this is our weed porn segment. Hey, thanks for coming and checking out the girls. Let's get a good close look at them, and let's start with Freyja. Freyja is a goddess. She's a mother. She's, of course, Thor's mother. A stepmother, I think, actually. I got to do some real research on that. Anyways, she's looking real good. She's been in this container for a little while, but she's been vegging for almost 3 months.
She's a skunk.
Yeah, we made a bunch of clones with her. We didn't use any of them. I threw them all away, but nevertheless, she's a skunk from Rocket Seeds, and she is absolutely gorgeous. I did do a major defoliation on her when I transplanted these other girls about 4 days ago. So she really got cut back. She stopped drinking water, almost stopped drinking water for a couple days. She really got cut back, but she's back to drinking water, and she's she's just absolutely, look at her. She just, oh man, Freyja.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and like I said, she's already been a mother, so, you know, what can I say? She's
got that glow?
She's got that glow to her, and, well, she's a sexy one of these. She's a MILF, if anything. Have you seen Thor? She's definitely a MILF. Who plays her? Something like Pfeiffer or somebody hot. That hot blonde plays Freyja on Thor. Anyways, hey, who needs to hear this? Listen, Freyja right here has been in this tent for too long, but nevertheless, she's coming out. Let's go take a closer look at her neighbor, Sedna, who is also a skunk from Rocket Seeds. And here we got Sedna. Sedna is another skunk from Rocket Seeds. She's beautiful. She's been in the tent for... well, not in the tent.
She's a lot younger.
Yeah, she just got into the 7-gallon container. She is 4 weeks in veg right now. Today.
Cool
She's gonna.
how level they are.
It really is. But you know what? 4 weeks. Look how big she is. She's beautiful. We've tried not to do a whole lot to them. Besides, I pinched some buds here for the last time when I did the transplant 4 days ago. I put them in these 7-gallon, and she's busting out of it. But we won't be pinching any more buds. This is what we got. We will decide which bud sites we're keeping. I like this way of growing where we make a lot of bud sites and then I get to choose. I get to choose who stays. Do you hear that? Do you hear that, Sedna? I am what I say goes. And that's how it is in this house.
Well,
you have been adopted.
That's how it is in the studio.
But you've been adopted into a beautiful house, Sedna, and you are absolutely going to love it here.
Loving home.
Very loving home. Sedna, you're looking beautiful. You are a skunk from Rocket Seeds, and you're looking really beautiful. Let's go take a look at the other tent and see what else we got going on. Come on! Okay, this is Lakshmi. She is a Shiskaberry from Rocket Seeds, and she is also she's vegged for 4 weeks, and she's going to be going to veg in her 5th week here, but this is 4 weeks of veg. Look at her. Oh my God, she's just gorgeous. What can I say? Shiskaberry is something that I haven't tried, and I really want. I don't know anything about it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we do here. We only grow 4 plants, so we're growing a variety. And the way I grow them is where all the buds get on top. As you can see, I've been training these girls from the very beginning. It's all the fun for me. I could put a net, but I got to tell you, if you're growing different varieties, different genetics, you probably don't want to do a scrog anyway. This is the way, because they're going to demand different lights, and you're going to want to be able to move each one up or down. So just letting you guys know, if you want to be on the safe side, grow the same variety in the same tent if you're going to do a scrog. Or come check out my grows, and maybe you'll like the way I grow. I saw this somewhere, and I said, I got to do it this way. And then I fell in love with, of course, training these girls. I come down here, and I spend a lot of time with them, and I've only got 4 girls, you guys. I come down here and talk to them. If anybody heard me down here, it would be bad. But anyways, we're getting to know the girls. The girls, obviously, look at them. They obviously look like somebody's talking to them, because they are shining. Yeah, let's go take a look at her neighbor next door, Diana. Okay, guys, this is Diana, and she is a wedding cake, and she's the biggest out of everybody. She's really spread out nice. She's had some really long nodes.
She's kind of sparser and stretched out. Like
look at all the bud sites I've pinched.
Ooh.
She is not sparser. I have given her a lot of bud sites, and I pinched the hell out of her, and they're all up on the top, and they are all going to be very, very dense buds. What can I say? It's the way I love to grow, I really enjoyed her, because I've enjoyed from rocket seeds again. This is our wedding cake, and I've heard great things about wedding cake, and very happy to grow out. And really, I'm actually more happy with this plant growing it than any other, because of the spread out nodes on her. It's allowed me to really, as you can see, she doesn't really look. If you look on top, she doesn't really she's still getting a lot of light through her. She hasn't really clumped up, and she's spread out real nice.
Thinking, like, she was kind of more sparse, but she had more like space, like not so dense and bushy.
Yeah, and I haven't taken off any leaves on any of these girls. Remember, you guys can tuck leaves. You guys can, a lot of this training, I'm bringing stuff to the top. I'm giving everything light. That's part of the training. You don't want to be peeling off leaves. When you come down here and spend time down here, you want to. There's something about every once in a while, it's okay to pick off a leaf. But try to tuck them. That way you don't slow down the growing process, and you guys can get to flower that much quicker. We'll probably be in flower. I'm looking at maybe 6 weeks, another 2 weeks, maybe 3 this time, maybe 7 weeks. I like to go as long as I need to in veg. I don't rush it. I want a full tent, and I want some big buds. That's our weed porn. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Come on! Hey, thanks again, guys, for coming back for another episode and watching my grow, because I'm tickled pink to show you my grow. There's something probably narcissistic about it. I don't know. But I'm going on over 3 years of growing it, and I'm starting to feel, like I'm getting my stride. Like I'm feeling confidence every grow. I feel a lot of confidence with what I'm doing. Even though I changed my soil, I'm still feeling confident.
You were saying how great it was to be part of this community and sharing this lovely hobby.
It's wonderful sharing with everybody, and I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody, train their girls to be with a flat canopy, and I said, I got to do that. It looks like bonsai to me, and that's how I started doing it. But since I've been doing it, I'll tell you what, I have realized getting all these buds up on top like this, and not growing anything on the bottom that isn't getting equal light. I don't like larf. Okay, I take larf out of my grow, and we grow for yields here, and hopefully you guys are interested. And mind you, we're only growing 4 plants, so it's really kind of cool that you guys are watching us, and maybe you can relate. Love you guys. Thanks for coming. What can I say? We love you guys. Hope to see you next week. Come on. Anyway, so
Is that?
So check out the chart. It's what most cannabis drivers, right? I mean, but I could give a shit. God damn it, mix. And I mixed. Started out in the bed. Hang on, I'm gonna go back. Oh no, let me start again. I don't know. Does that make me a narcissist? Maybe.
I don't know. If you're admiring your plants, maybe you're.
Yeah, but I'm doing it. I'm taking credit for it. Right. Let me start again.
Okay. Ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You're already on.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Hang on, man.
Let's
I
talk
don't know
about
if I
the
can do
lights.
this.
Why don't you tell them everything about the lights first? Like,
What I'm doing in the tent with the lights?
yeah, how.
Okay. As you guys know, I can't do this while we're doing this, so I won't. Let's just start again.
Okay.
I don't want to cough. The comments and just you guys have been absolutely wonderful to us, except for one person.
Oh.
Yeah, one person.
You want to go there?
I do. You know what? I do. Because the one person is probably listening because they watch every single second of our video.
We don't know that.
Yeah, I do. I do. This person for the last couple seasons, this person has been a dislike. It's too consistent to not be the same person every single video
This
to give
is
us
your
a dislike.
theory.
Yeah, and let me tell you what. We were talking about how much we would pay to find out who that was. Who is this one person that just dislikes us
Takes
every
the
single
time
time?
out of their day.
Yeah, because most of the community is quite the opposite. They're not these.
That's what we think. We think it's just one person. Who
And I
knows?
don't
Could
think
be
it's, I
random.
think it's personal. I don't even think it's somebody a part of the community, to be quite honest with you. But anyways, we wanted to throw this out there because we thought it was really funny.
I'm the grow man, cold as the snowman. GrowDaddyTV, just turn us on, yeah.